Okay, we're back in the shed today. This video is probably going to be launching alongside like 3 or 4 other ones. I'm going to be uploading a bunch of stuff all together just because I'm lazy and that's how I do things. So the 700XX and honestly all sport quads, one of the biggest shortcomings from the factory are the foot pegs. And that's for a few reasons. Number one, most of them come with those dinky little foot baskets. Number two, most hardcore riders are going to be upgrading foot pegs. They're going to be putting Nerf bars on. You know the deal. However, for people who don't like these dinky little foot pegs, I mean, look at that. That's not even as long as my foot. That's ridiculous. And who don't want to spend $400 or $500 on a decent set of Nerf bars, and you can spend less than that and get something much less nice that probably won't even come with upgraded foot pegs. We're at a loss here. And obviously I've also taken off my foot baskets because those are pretty dumb. They're gay. And so for most quads, very limited with options for just oversized foot pegs. Like BVC Off-Road makes a really nice set of, I believe, all stainless steel ones that fold up like on a dirt bike, but they're like $300, and they don't even make one that fits the XX. They make them for like the 250R and I think like the 400EX or something, and like that's it, and maybe like a Yamaha or two. But for most people, if you're not riding one of the most common quads, you're not finding aftermarket foot pegs. And then even if you are, they're going to be $300 shipped. That's ridiculous. So I found the solution finally. I was browsing through, I believe, Motorsport or Rocky Mountain, and I found these lovely dudes. Now these are actually replacement foot pegs. Basically, they're replacement cleats for, I forget what brand of Nerf bar, and they literally are just designed to bolt on. They're stainless, all one-piece construction other than this midsection here, which is very nicely welded in. You can see they ground down the welds flush, kept it flat, very nice joint there. They've got this really nice little kick up. By all means, the skeleton of a very nice modern foot peg. They're also like 2.5, 3 inches wide. They're almost as long as my foot. Much more than half as long as my foot. And I saw it, and they're pretty easy to find. If you just look up like replacement foot peg for Nerf bar on Rocky Mountain or Motorsport, they'll come up. And what shocked me was the price. These were like $12 a piece. I bought 2. I spent $30. And I'm trying to stop spending money on stupid shit for this 4-wheeler. But guys, literally a tenth of the cost of what I was thinking I would end up spending. I was at the point I was going to be buying billets of stainless steel and machining these on my mini mill just for a fun project. I don't have to do that now. So let me show you what I've got mocked up. Be warned. But basically, here is my prototype. So I've cut this back section out, and I literally just went into the OEM holes. And I had to drill out this one and this one. I had to make holes here. And it just bolts right up. And this bolt, like this back leg was sticking out like that. And then I drilled that bolt in and it sucked it in. And there's still a little bit of play there, but it's not bad. And I can mess around with it if I wanted to. This is just kind of a prototype, a rough draft. And just 4 bolts. And I've got some nice hardware here because I had it laying around. But you don't need to have very nice hardware. And look at this, guys. All of my weight bouncing up and down on the outside of that. All of my weight. And what's nice about this, other than those 2 little holes, I didn't have to modify this foot peg at all, the original foot peg. I'm still going off of the original mounting points, which I know are strong enough because they use them for Nerf bars. And it gets me, let's just measure it out real quick. I go from 2 inches to 2.5 inches. So it gets me an extra 1/2 inch of width. And it gets me an extra 3 inches of length, almost 3, plus the kick up. I mean, it's enormous. And this thing probably weighs like 3 ounces, 2 or 3 ounces. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. Not even close to a pound. Not even close to 1/2 pound, honestly. And once I paint it, it's going to look fine. You're not going to notice. And it just increases the comfort of the machine so much. Because look at that. I don't have any room. I'm like braking and then I'm riding. And I'm braking and I'm riding. And that's all I have. Over here now, I have shifting, riding, cornering, cruising, you know. I've got so much. And that's something that a lot of pro riders talk about. Just like look at the difference there in the size of the foot peg. Something a lot of pro riders talk about is when they're in a corner, if you can really hammer on your inside peg, say I'm taking a left-hand turn here, if you can get a lot of weight on this inside peg and just knock this tire into the ground, your traction just skyrockets coming out of a corner. And I've experimented it, and it even works with the OEM pegs, but I'm willing to bet that with all this extra leverage, it's going to make an enormous difference in your cornering capability, and it's also just going to let you stand out wider. I mean, I'm hanging off the edge here on my right, and I'm not even close to as far out as I am on my left. And on my left, I'm in here. I'm in here good. So I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be the biggest upgrade to handling that this machine has gotten since the rear shocks. And bang for buck, it's something that I think anybody could do. And $30 shipped. You can't beat it. It's an enormous improvement. I highly recommend it for anybody who doesn't want to run Nerf bars. Good luck, guys.